just even guys and girls have actually, have helped to lead even totally on their own. Just a couple months ago, like their own training with it. And I think that just that having that clear pathway of lost to leader gives them, so they've got like energy and momentum, but this gives like a track to go on.
Yeah.
So it's like a train that has, it's got, the engine, or I don't know train mechanics, but it's got the engine and everything, and it's good to go, and people are loaded up on it, but it's like has that track to actually like be moving in that direction.
Okay, Marcus. So you are on the UCO campus. It's a college campus here in the Oklahoma City metro area. You've been there for a while now and started to see some multiplication in the last year-ish, year and a half?
Yep.
Okay, and can you explain a little about where you are with leaders and what you are working through to see things move to the next step on campus?
This is kind of heading in a direction, and there is a path. That's what I'm understanding a lot right now, is the importance of even just knowing like where I'm headed. And so then how, because if I don't know exactly where I'm headed, then they're not going to know where they're headed, and they're learning some like good tools and good stuff. But to have that clear direction and clear pathway of, okay, why am I learning this? Other than just getting to use it with my friends or share something cool, but it's because that's going to lead to this, which can lead to this, and as that's happening, like we're going to continue to work in like this area, so that way we can see this result, and it's going to come through X, Y, Z. And it was kind of ambiguous, but yeah.
So in the last year or so, you've done a lot of training with these folks and given them tools in their tool belt, and they've done a lot of repetitions with those tools, right? To where they're
probably not as much as we really should, but yeah.
But they're getting to where they're pretty competent at training somebody else and have that confidence that they could do this, right? So I want to put you on the spot that you didn't know I was going to do, and give me the elevator pitch of Lost to Leader for a student on campus at UCO.
Okay. So the elevator pitch, I'll try to keep it short, which is something that I'm actually rehearsing over and over again. I'm trying to just kind of starting to make sure that I can. This is good. Put me on the spot. Appreciate it. People being confronted with the gospel. They need to be confronted with the gospel through personal testimony of what he's done, and also through a clear description and explanation of what Jesus has done. Through that, then filtering through different responses of understanding, okay, is this someone who is already following Jesus or was wanting to, or someone who is a yellow light to, which would be a different route of the pathway. And so if that person, they're very interested, want to know more, then we start them in Discovery Bible study of stories of hope. And so where that person can then understand who even is this Jesus, and why do I want to know more about him? Why do I want to understand who he is? And so discovering that and helping them with that, and then even someone who is then a follower or is like decided, yes, I want to follow Jesus just like you did, then getting them trained on why, who, how, or 411 to begin immediately understanding, okay, how can I start being a disciple and sharing that with other people, right? And both those tracks will that'll be involved in part of that process of immediately starting to say, okay, you've got this, who can you share that with? And at the very beginning, and kind of over and over again, that habit of, okay, how do I obey? Like, seeing this, how do I obey immediately, and how can I share that with someone else so they can also do the same thing? And then from there, those who are then showing that they are, okay, yes, I want to continue to understand more, I want to continue to grow in this, teaching them how to then gather with other people, gather in that committed fellowship through showing them. So a way of doing that, 2/3. I don't know how brief I'm supposed to be, but maybe this is not much of an elevator, more of a long sidewalk conversation. So 3/3 showing them like what a healthy church is then to gather in, and through like church circle, church waffle, getting them to practice that and see that lived out through like the commands of Christ, and going through some more like story sets of understanding. All right, who's this Jesus that I'm following now, and what are the things I'm supposed to be doing? What are these commands? And then maybe even looking into the gospel book through that format, 3/3 format, and then through that we continue that process. But out of that, there'll be some individuals who seem to be leaders and are wanting to go deeper, wanting more, and seeing who are fast. They're faithful, they're available, they're sharing, they're teachable, and they show all those qualities, and then bringing them into an A-team format, and teaching them this idea of 1, 3, 9, where you need to be discipling other people. It can't just be me, it can't just be maybe someone who started that group originally, but they need to be ones, and they're going out with this. Who are your 3? Who are these people that you are then repeating this cycle with? Getting them to continue to cast that vision throughout. And understanding then the 4 fields. How is it that the kingdom is growing? Teaching them that as you're gathering with them. How is that the kingdom actually expanding? And honestly, looking back and seeing, look, it's already been happening that way. And then having them continue that by themselves, launched out. So through that kind of mall is encompassing the whole thing. That's good. But launching them out then to do their own.
So lately, this is going to connect. Lately, I've been learning how to make chocolate chip cookies at my house. Okay. My wife loves them. And I've got to have the skills of learning how to measure out the flour correctly. And I've got to learn how to sift down the sugar. But if I didn't also have the steps in the recipe, I might have a bunch of different ingredients and even the ability for how to measure them out, but not really know how to put it all together to make chocolate chip cookies. And so I now know that because I've practiced not only through those skills of how to make them, get the ingredients in the right way for the cookies, but also the order of the steps. And so I can make you chocolate chip cookies. Now with the guys on campus, you are not only putting the skills in their hand, but you're giving them a pathway so that they can make their own chocolate chip cookies, right?
I really like what you mentioned, even just like the steps. Like it's this and this and this and this. So it's not just like all these things have to be in play, but it's like this and then this comes next. And then this comes next. So I like that.
So helpful. Marcus is able to articulate that elevator pitch, and he's working with his 3 right now to do the same so that they can be able to say that same thing. And if they can, if I had that chocolate chip cookie recipe in my heart, I could go anywhere and make chocolate chip cookies. So he's working towards that place where it's empowering leaders to go forth and start new churches everywhere they go. Way to go.